The UEFA Champions League is a great tournament viewed by millions all over the world, but its South American equivalent, the Copa Libertadores, has comparatively fewer viewers. It'd be great if more football fans across the world got into the Copa Lib. The Copa Libertadores is spectacular. It's intense. It's great football. And it's the best tournament you've probably never even seen. South Americans hold the Copa Libertadores in the highest esteem. In 2010, when he was at Brazilian club Santos, Neymar rejected a bunch of offers from big European clubs. Why? His team had just qualified for the Copa Lib and he wanted to play in it. "We cannot stop here," said Neymar. "We have to win the Copa Libertadores." Deco is one of the few players to have won the UEFA Champions League twice, with Porto and Barca. But he said he'd trade both those wins for a single Copa Lib title. "For me," said Deco, "winning the Copa Libertadores would be the best thing that could happen to me in my career." So why do South Americans love the Copa Lib so much? Why is it worth watching and how does it work? Let's answer those questions. How it works is simple, so I'll cover that first. In Europe, UEFA basically runs football, including the Champions League. The South American equivalent of UEFA is called CONMEBOL, so you can think of the Copa Libertadores as the CONMEBOL Champions League. Sometimes it's called the CONMEBOL Libertadores. The Copa Lib takes the top few nations from each domestic tournament and each South American nation and pits them against each other. That's it. There's a little more detail about the selection, seeding and format, but I talk about that elsewhere. So why watch it? Firstly, the passion. The fans, the players, the clubs, everyone is so intense about the Copa Lib. You see the craziest stuff.
On the fans, another bomb is about to explode.
On and off the pitch.
And a breaking of destroying.
It's fanatical. When teams welcome their players to the pitch in Europe, it is respectful, not to say it can't be loud and enthusiastic. But in the Copa Lib, they take it to a new level. Every team has a version of a song. The Copa Libertadores is my obsession. The reception is a feature of the competition, totally unique to the Copa Libertadores. It's part of the passion, the intensity that makes you feel like anything could happen at any time. Only in the Copa Libertadores would you see whole terraces filled with fans drenched by fire hoses, or drones with team flags in the stadium, or opposing teams unable to play because they've been tear-gassed by rival fans. Games in the Copa Libertadores are played all across South America, from the famous Maracanã in Rio to Estadio Victor Agustin Ugarte in Bolivia, the highest stadium in the world, at 4 kilometers above sea level. The air in these high-altitude stadiums is so thin that players have needed bottled oxygen to keep on playing. Just another unique feature of the Copa Libertadores. Boca Juniors in Argentina, where Diego Maradona started his career, play at La Bombonera, a stadium like no other. The fans call themselves La Doce, the 12th player. The spectacle of sound and noise is incredible. Supporters jump up and down in sync so vigorously that players can feel it on the pitch. Hernan Crespo, who played there with River Plate, Boca's hated rival, said, "The ground of La Bombonera trembles. The first time I played there, I thought my legs were shaking." So another reason to watch the Copa Libertadores. It's totally unpredictable. As Deco said, in the Copa Libertadores, there are more teams that are able to win the tournament. But in the Champions League, it's always the same 5 or 6 big teams who contend for the title. To illustrate this point, in the Champions League in the last 10 years, 7 of the wins have been either Barca or Real Madrid. In the Copa Lib in the past 10 years, 10 different teams won the title. No team retained the cup, and actually in the past 40 years, only 2 teams have won successive titles. Boca Juniors of Argentina and Sao Paulo of Brazil. The feature of this unpredictability in the Copa Libertadores are the routine upsets that you see. The big squads are regularly knocked out by smaller ones. Last month, in the round of 16, Chile's Colo-Colo knocked out Brazil's Corinthians. Corinthians are the most valuable club in the Americas and one of the world's biggest teams. Back in 2014, Argentina's San Lorenzo, the lowest ranked club in the Copa Libertadores, won the final and their first Copa Lib title against Nacional Asunción from Paraguay, who were the second lowest ranked club in the tournament. So clearly any team can win the Copa Lib. There's this feeling of uncertainty in every game. The Champions League mostly is sleek and refined, methodical, highly commercial. The Copa Libertadores is different. It's much more of a spectacle, but a spectacle of a different kind. They're more audacious games. They're more daring.
Excellent pass to Zárate.
This is another factor that makes the Copa Libertadores so awesome. The style of football. There's more emphasis on speed, agility, creativity, and individual artistry. Typical Copa game has frequent runs, lots of dribbles, terrific skill moves, and a whole heap of goals.
This is a fast counter-attack.
The game's a high tempo. Teams shift between each other's halves, back and forth, all the time. Squads rarely park the bus. The games can be very contentious and the players can be aggressive and undisciplined. They play what's been called a wild kind of football. They're frenetic. They're no holds barred. In some games, there are as many red cards as goals. But this comes from the enthusiasm of the players. To them, fighting for and ultimately winning the Copa Lib is the ultimate triumph in football. The Copa Lib is a place where legends are born. Pelé, René Higuita.
That is quite the most remarkable piece of goalkeeping I have ever seen.
Ronaldo all emerged from the cup to world stardom. So did Ronaldinho, Sergio Aguero, Luis Suarez, and so many more. Another great part of the tournament is the young players who emerge. Many of them are unknown outside of Latin America, or almost unknown. You can follow these players, and in a way you can scout them yourself. You can often tell who will get attention or transfer offers from the big money European clubs. Many already have. Case in point, Arthur Melo, who helped Brazilian side Grêmio win their 2017 Copa Libertadores and was named man of the match in the final. He's only 21, but he's already playing in Iniesta's number 8 shirt at Barca, where he transferred early in 2018. He demonstrated his midfield ability in the Copa Libertadores in one game, completing 40 passes with 100% accuracy. He's already played in one Champions League game this year and has a great future ahead of him. Arturo is following in the footsteps of his teammate Malcolm and will soon face off against Rodrigo, Real Madrid's signing for next season. All three are products of the Copa Libertadores, and there are more to come. Clearly the Copa Lib is an excellent stage for young talent, and it's great to see. The Copa Libertadores is an incredible, totally unique competition, unlike any other sporting tournament anywhere else in the world. There's the passion, the intensity of the players and fans, and you can see this in the atmosphere of the games. There are the upsets, unpredictability. There's the free-flowing, high-tempo, attacking style of football. It's where icons are made and new stars emerge all the time. It's a tournament with an almost spiritual sort of a zeal. It's a dream and an obsession. And if you check it out, you'll soon be obsessed too.